Oh, I can't see you. Stephanie! Wait, I can see you now.
I can't see you yet.
Wait, let me see if I can put a video.
Oh, getting somewhere.
Connected. Hey!
Hello.
Hello. Nice to meet you.
And you. I don't even know what we're doing.
I don't either.
Okay, let me throw a few questions at you then, and then I think we're good.
Roger that.
How long have you been playing?
2018 or 2019. So I think the first time for me the tin whistle was I've been traveling for about 4 years now, and before I left, I was gonna get a ukulele, right? And I'm like, that's the travel instrument. And so when I went over to my brother's house for like one last hangout, he started playing the tin whistle. He's like, oh, check out what I could learn. He played Concerning Hobbits. Like, very horrible. And so the next day I went to the store, bought one, got in my car, played, and I'm sure you and everyone knows you sound horrible.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why did I buy this? This is stupid. And I opened the door to return it because I had the receipt. Opened the door and I'm like, I'll do it tomorrow. And I just closed the door and procrastination brain.
Nice.
And then I went home and then I YouTubed how good can you be on the tin whistle. And then I saw a video of John Sheehan from the Dubliners, and he was going crazy, and I was just like, you can do that on this thing? It's so insane. And yeah, so then I just kept on practicing. I was obsessed, and now it's kind of like my hobby now. So
Are you pleased with the way you play tin whistle? Your progress with the instrument?
I feel like I could be better, but I try to practice early in the morning as much as I can. So remember what you said about how it's like you play it and then you like don't play it again. For me, I have this thing where it's like my busking playlist. And so if I ever find myself wanting to busk to make some money, or if I'm in a place where I can play music for like some people or like a group of friends, it's like I have my go-to list of 20 songs that I really know how to play. And that's like, Concerning Hobbits, Indiana Jones, SpongeBob. It's stuff that I like to play. And when you really know how to play it, it feels good to know the whole thing clean and complete. And then if people think you're amazing, it's just like, you haven't been to Galway, man.
Yeah. What's the most impressive thing that you've played?
People sometimes just want some music.
Yeah.
And if they can play like a tune, then it really makes their day. So for me, one of the ones, I'll tell you an interesting story. So I was in Poland, and this was when the war was going on, right? In Ukraine, and I showed up to this. I got a request from this Ukrainian. He said, "Oh, can you play this folk tune, a Ukrainian folk tune?" And it was, I don't know if you've seen the video, but it's that one guy going. He's like a musician, but he quit everything and he became a soldier to fight Ukraine because he was Ukrainian. But I forgot the name of the tune, but it's like da 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 da.
Yeah, I know it.
You know it? Yeah. I forgot that one. And then so the guy requested it to me, and I thought, yeah, I could do that. So I'm in Poland, and I show up to this hostel, and the guy, like, I'm banging on the door, like, is anyone home? And this Ukrainian guy opens up, doesn't speak a word of English, and he's kind of grumpy. He's like, okay. Show me like the toilet and the bed. He's like, and walks away to the kitchen. And then I start practicing this tune, listening, and I start playing it. And then immediately, because this whole house is filled with Ukrainians, and I start trying to get it out, but you can tell when I'm playing, and they all are just like, "Who is that? What are you doing?" And they're just the nicest people immediately.
Nice.
They're like, "Oh, you hungry? Yeah, I give you food. And they just give me all this borscht, and then they're all just like, "Oh, video. I sent to friend. It's good." And so they just treated me so they were just so nice, and all because I was just playing like a folk tune that made
They
them think of
knew.
home. Yeah.
Amazing.
And I posted that video, and yeah, the guy really liked it. So a lot of people did.
Nice.
They're like, oh, it's like this really kept our spirits up in my home. We have no power or something like that. I'm like,
Nice.
right on, man. Right in the
Yeah.
feels.
So you travel sort of all the time. Do you work in each place, or are you working off money that you made beforehand, or how does it work?
All of the above. So it helps. It really does help if you don't have anything weighing you down in one location. Like, so for example, for me, I don't have a home. Well, I have like my parents' house, but
Yeah.
I haven't lived there in years. So, but some people have apartments, some people have dogs, some people have relationships back home. For me, I have none of that. So I'm able to keep traveling without, have any prior commitments or responsibilities. And so how I travel is I usually buy one-way tickets because you don't know. It makes it a lot cheaper to travel wherever you want to go with just one way. Because then you go to one country, then you just buy one way to another country, then you just buy one way to another country. And like, oh, I like that country. I'll go back to that country. And also, what really helps if you want to do it on the cheap is to have a very small bag with you, like one carry-on luggage size, because EasyJet, Ryanair, Wizz Air, I'm sure you know, very cheap flights.
Yeah.
I have a $20 flight to Bulgaria, from Cyprus to Bulgaria.
Nice.
But it's only if you have a small bag.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, you have extra luggage? That's another $100.
Yeah.
It's like,
so where do you stay though? Do you stay with somebody else? Do you stay in like hostels? Do you stay somewhere you can work?
All of the above. So for hostels, it can be really cheap if you stay in hostels. There's different ways you can do it to find cheap prices. Sometimes what I do is I work in hostels as well. You work a little bit, like a couple hours a day, and then they give you food and a place to stay, and then there's your accommodation and food for a month. So I did that in Tiberias and Israel. I also did that in Italy, and my most recent one that I did for hostels was in Galway, Ireland. And I knew I wanted to learn more about trad music, and music in Galway is just wonderful. So I emailed every single hostel. I'm like, hey, do you need a volunteer? They're like, and then only one of them got back to me. They're like, yeah. So work like 4 hours a day or something like that, and then you can stay here for free. It's just like, all right, cool. So, and then when I was in Galway, I did busking. That's another thing you can do to make some money, busking. And it was actually really good if you time the days right and like the time of day. It's like, I was making like maybe 15, 17 euro an hour or something like that. So you do that for 4 hours a day, and then there's a decent chunk of money that you got there. And
So what do you actually keep your whistles in when you travel?
I like to keep them in these little poster tubes. You can probably get them easily, like at the post office. I honestly don't know. I just keep the ones that they've been sent to me.
Okay.
I wrap it in duct tape just because I'm like, in case they like get wet or something like that in the rain, so the cardboard doesn't go to crap. Duct tape it, and then you can fit like, let's see, how many do I have? You can fit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 5 whistles.
Nice.
C's, D's, flats, and you have like a little top part you can just stick on there.
Do you take any low whistles with you when you travel, or do they take up too much space?
Actually, you can travel with them. Like the low D whistles, that's the really tricky part. If you get one that comes apart, that's pretty preferable. But I was traveling around for a while with one that was just one solid low D whistle in one of these, and I just slapped it to my bag, and that was pretty much it. But the nice thing about these tubes is you can shorten them depending on like the size of your whistle. So I have like a F and a G whistle. They both fit in one of these, and I put a little padding in the bottom there just to kind of make sure it doesn't, hit the bottom too hard. But 2 whistles can fit in there, and you can just kind of cut however short you want it and just stick the top back on.
Is there a whistle that you'd like to try that you haven't?
No, actually, I like some tunes sound better in the key of C.
Yeah.
I found it like if it's a tune that people are singing,
Yeah.
that it sounds better at
Yeah.
like a C whistle because I think it sounds a little bit more closer to a voice or a soprano, you know. But I like whistles in the key of D, not just for playing, but also for YouTube tutorials because a lot of people they only have this. Like not everyone has like the luxury of like a low D or like something like that.
Do you have a favorite whistle that you use most for busking and things?
Oh yes. Let's see which one. Where's my baby? Where's Rochelle?
You have names?
Yeah, this is Rochelle. She's my baby. But no, I like this one. This is a Dixon DX001 in the key of D.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I think like $18. But the reason I like this one so much is that it was the first whistle I bought after my I think it was an Oakley whistle or a Fay Dog whistle, but it was my first one. You know, like the cheap $6 ones. And then I was playing that when I was in Alaska, and my buddy, whose brother played tin whistle, he had a Dixon DX001, and he's like, my brother doesn't play it, man. This one might sound better. And so I was playing it more than his brother. And eventually I was just like, all right, I'll buy one myself. So this is the one I've had since I started my YouTube channel. And I broke it 6 times, sat on it, stepped on it, like accidentally broke it.
And it still plays.
It still plays pretty good. I mean, you can see the super glue that I've had. But honestly, super glue, and it just seals right up there.
It's amazing.
With plastic, though, it actually really does like seal it up because, you know, super glue. And yeah, it still plays good. It's fun. Thank you.
Have you played in many sessions?
I have a couple of times.
Yeah?
Do you know Sean Ryan?
Yeah?
Yeah, I played a couple of sessions with him.
Nice.
And he was one of the people that inspired me to play better because he's just such an amazing whistle player. And okay, so the Crane Bar, if for those of you that want to meet him or whatever, he plays at the Crane Bar in Galway every Sunday at 2 p.m. And so I went there. And then I saw him, just this 70-year-old Irish guy with his little flat hat and his little bag of whistles, and I was so excited to meet him. Like, hi Sean, my name is Finn. It's nice to meet you. You really inspire me. Blah blah blah. And then just like, okay. Very mellow Irishman, and it was really unbelievable to meet him because nicest guy, but he was drinking like 3 glasses of wine, 3 glasses of whiskey, and he was still just playing so clean and amazing. And I remember asking him for advice, like, hey, do you have any advice? Like, how'd you do that one thing with your whistle, and how'd you play that ornament? And he's like, oh, you just blow and move your fingers. Okay.
Thanks.
Thanks, man. So yeah, busking in Galway is actually pretty nice. It's a huge busking culture in Galway. General etiquette is around like 2 hours per spot, so how it works is what I like to do is I like to walk around Galway first just to know where the busking spots are.
Yeah.
Because you'll see buskers there.
Yeah.
And then what you do if you think it's a good spot for you, you walk up to a busker in between a tune or whatever, and they're like, hey man, like, did you just get here, or how long are you gonna be for? And then the buskers are very nice. They're like, oh yeah, I just got here. I mean, I'll be here for another 2 hours. Like, oh okay. Or they're like, oh, I got 10 minutes left. And then you can be like, is anyone playing after you? They're like, no. And then so 10 minutes goes by, they pack up, they leave, you take their spot. That's pretty much it. And other times, like, is anyone playing after you? It's like, yeah, we have someone. It's like, okay. Then you just find somewhere else.
Have you ever been moved on? Because I know in some places you need like licenses and stuff.
Nope, yeah, you don't need it in Galway. I mean, it's a huge busking thing. I think the only exception would be like late at night, maybe like 1 or 2 in the morning, because sometimes
Yeah.
you have a lot to drink. I guess maybe some people are sleeping or something like that. So the police or the guard, they come around. They're like, "Hey man, you can't be here. Pack up." And then I've seen this happen. Like a lot of buskers are like, "Yeah, okay," and then the guards walk away, and then they keep playing. It's like the guards don't really care. Little tip when you're busking is you just you get good at reading people, and you're like, oh, that person watches anime, and then you play Pink Sake, and then they just stop and they just like look at you like, Pink Sake, that's Pink Sake. Or SpongeBob is a very popular busking tune. I was busking in Poland, and there were these tough looking like teenagers like walking. They're like, "Oh, they're walking past me," and then I just on a hunch I started playing Ray Cornpipe, and they're like, "SpongeBob!"
Nice.
And I'm like, "Damn right, buddy," and they're like, "Yeah, give me some money." I'm like, "Thanks, man." Yeah, so that's one of the fun parts about busking is that you can make people's day. Like you can just see them start to smile, or twinkle twinkle little star when you see like a chubby baby walking by or in the stroller. Parents love that.
For a session, what would you learn?
So my most memorable one was, I think I have an Instagram video of it, when I was playing John Ryan's Polka and the Morning Pilgrim, and that was in Scotland. But those are I think those are Irish tunes.
Yeah.
And the Scottish, there's 12, 15 musicians there, because it was like a big musician teaching thing going on, and they all kind of came to the pub afterwards and just started playing. And I was like, it was the very last tune that we played, because I'm just sitting there with my whistle trying to jump in, but I don't know any of the tunes that they're playing because I'm in Scotland. And then all of a sudden, I jump in and just start playing Barney Pilgrim, and then the musicians are so good, they just hear it once and they can just
they're
pick
away.
it up, and then they started going, and then I played John Ryan's Polka, and this entire time I'm thinking Titanic, Rose. And to make it all just even better, this professional Irish dancer gets up and starts cutting loose as we're playing John Ryan's Polka. I'm just like, this is so much fun. So, that was like the highlight of my trad. I mean, for now, I thought that was just really something. Just know that where you are, not everyone knows the same tune, but if the musicians are good enough, they can easily pick it up. And if you want to learn a lot about tin whistle, go to Galway, Ireland, and just learn from musicians there, because they're all just the nicest people. And so I usually am a huge procrastinator, and I'm traveling, so I don't want to be like on my computer all the time. so sometimes what happens, I have varying motivation and discipline. So some days I wait, I usually give it myself 5 days. Like if I don't create a new tutorial, I have to create at least one tutorial in 5 days. And so on day 4, when I haven't done anything, I'm like, dang it. So I immediately I have this possible music tutorial playlist. Pick one that I really enjoy, and then, because that's the only way I'll be motivated. Yep, I do it within 3 hours. Filmed, played, tabs, posted, done. And I'm like, all right, 4 more days. Yeah. Well, that's also the thing too. When people first start out on tin whistle, it's like they suck. I suck. It's like everyone sucks. But
I still suck.
I like this one quote from Adventure Time. Jake, he's like, what is it? He's like, sucking at something is the first step to being sort of good at something. And I'm like, right on. So you just keep playing and practice it, you'll get better. But you sound awful the first time. Everyone does. I wanted to do this collaboration because a lot of people in my travels, they're always asking me what is that instrument? How do you play this? And I just figure maybe I have something to share with your audience, I don't my channel's small, but we kind of do roughly the same thing, but I feel maybe I can share something with your audience.
Yeah, definitely.
Something they don't know, and vice versa.
I'd say we've got a video.
Yeah. I mean,
See what I can
we're
do.
all over the place for sure, but I think it sounds pretty like genuine when we do it. I think it sounds pretty genuine when we do it this way.
Can we make that the thumbnail?
Yeah, sure. But you can do that, and then I'll just do like.
Oh god.
Or you can make that face. I can just be like, this lady.
Do you know, I actually filmed for SpongeBob today.
Did you?
I did, so I now have it. I didn't manage to get outside because every single time I've gone to go outside to the beach to film, it is absolutely hammered down with rain. Every single time. So I just did it. I just did it inside, and then I've green screened the background and put some sky slowly drifting past my head.
You totally should have just played it outside.
I know.
And then dumped the audio. It's like sunny on the beach, and then just whales.
Yeah. I know. I was tempted. Just show me your tube again, and then I've got everything.
My tube?
Yeah. Hang on, let me ask you. let me ask you sensibly about the first few points that I've missed.
No, but honestly, that was my least favorite. I just talk about this tube and how it's like so nice.
Okay, let me throw a few questions at you then, and then I think we're good.
Roger that.
So what do you use to keep your whistles safe? Show me the tube.
Very, very professional. Yeah, we didn't rehearse this at all.
Yeah, go on. Do the tube bit again.
My tube